Hey, so some people out there, if you're a real estate agent, are wondering how can I accurately go through a scenario with my client to see if they should buy or wait? Many buyers want to buy, but they see interest rates that are a little bit higher than what they've seen in the past few years and are wondering maybe I should just wait and see if interest rates will actually drop. So, this is an easy spreadsheet that you can use with your clients in order to get you close into the ballpark of whether or not you should buy right now or wait. So here's the example where you're going to have a probable home price. This may be actually lower or higher than what the property is currently listed at. For example, the property may be listed at 900,000. You believe you can get it for 50,000 less, or it may be listed for 800,000. You may be paying 850. So in whatever case that you think that the property is going to sell at, that's the number you want to list it here. You're going to add in your down payment amount. In this case, we can edit any of these cells that are in yellow. And so if we want them to put down a lesser down payment, then they certainly can. Annual taxes on the property, we can edit those as well. If you want it to be $1,000 a month, you can certainly do that. Along with the interest as well, your loan amount will be calculated here. And then you can add in the interest rate of whatever they are pre-approved at. So if they're pre-approved at just over 8%, you can certainly add that in here and it will calculate the monthly payment for you. It's also going to calculate for you the annual amount of interest paid. So if you're in this spreadsheet, it's going to actually look at the loan purchase for year 1, year 2, year 3, and it's also going to look at the current loan as well. These are all in separate tabs as well. Don't worry, there is a cool seller wait tab that I've got that I'm going to unlock for you guys at another point in time. But until then, let's just go through this sheet. This will say the actual interest that you're going to pay for year 1, year 2, and year 3. It's also going to go over the amount of appreciation that we estimate. So in some markets around, you may be seeing a 12% appreciation, 1% per month. That'd be amazing. In those COVID years, we saw something like that in many areas around the country, if not even more. You may be in a market where it's really stagnant and you're only just seeing about a 1% appreciation. In any case, it's going to calculate that for you, as you can just see here. Maybe you believe that it's going to pick up in the next following years after that. So let's say in year 1, the next year, it's only going to appreciate 1%, but in the next few years after that, it appreciates at about 6% per year. It's going to calculate your loan payoff. So as you continue to make payments, most of your payments in that initial few years are going to be interest based, but there is a small portion that is going towards your principal, and those are going to be calculated here. And then we're going to start to tally that all up on this side of the chart. Again, once again, this is on the left side, it's buy, on the right side, it's wait. And so it's going to include your future possible value with the appreciation. So once again, it's going to calculate your $850,000 plus the 1% for appreciation that next year. That's $8,500 here. And so it's going to get the $850 plus the $8,500. There you go. It's $858,500. And then on top of that, it's also going to calculate the amount of equity you have. So it's going to calculate the $150,000 down payment along with your payoff of your loan. It's going to add all of that up here. And then as you can see, this individual who purchased the property for $850,000 and put their down payment of $150,000, they deployed that money. That money went to work for them. After 3 years, they have $282,772.68, just approximate, after 3 years of equity in their property. And if they buy now, after 3 years, if we total this up, what we've got is a total appreciation. So the difference in between this $964,000 after waiting for 3 years of appreciation. Once again, this is looking at this year's appreciation, then adding it to the next year, and then adding it to this one. You're going to have about $114,000 worth of appreciation, which means that your home over the course of those few years has added up to a total of, if you take the $850,000. You get up to 964. That's 11.35%. It's a nice blended rate. And then your down payment produced an investment return of around 76%, which is absolutely incredible. So you took that $150,000 and you added quite a bit to it. You not only have the $150,000, but you received for yourself an appreciation of $114,000. So it's a really, really good use of your money right there. But let's pretend that that's not what our goal was. Our goal was actually, I just want a lower interest rate. So many buyers will say, I don't want to pay 8.25%. That's ridiculous. Who would ever do that? In fact, I've even heard some realtors say nobody should be buying a house right now. Well, let's say that you're paying, $3,500 a month. If you're buying an $850,000 house, this is probably around what your monthly rent is, and you wanted to wait, 2 years. You can wait 1 year, and our calculator will calculate some of the differences down here. But let's say we wanted to wait 2 years, and we think that interest rates, this is really cool, will be 5%. And this is great because you can edit again. You can edit any of these cells in yellow. So if you think that the interest rates are going to be 3%, you can make that up, and it'll do some calculations as well as to what it believes that your monthly payment is going to be. But let's say it's going to be 5%. We don't think that they're going to come down all the way back down to threes back when quantitative easing was happening, but we believe that they'll be around 5%. That might be aggressive, but we'll see. So once again, these cells are going to coordinate over here. So the home prices, if I wait a year, there's 1 year. Look, there they are, the same numbers over here, 858,000. So now the same house that I wanted to buy, I wanted to wait. Well, I waited a year and it only appreciated 1%. And so maybe it's better to wait a year. That might be a good idea. If I wait 2 years, oh my goodness, the same house is going to be $910,000. If I wait 3 years, it's $964. And then I can also edit my down payment. If I think that my down payment's going to be, well, it's $150 on the other side. Well, maybe I can save up some money. It's going to be $200,000 on this side. Well, then it's going to recalculate all of my down payments. And so now if I wait 1 year, my estimated payment is going to be $4,000, $734. If I wait 2 years, now again, the house price is going to change. I'm going to be putting more money down. And I'm estimating that I might need to wait 2 years in order for it to get 5%. Well, then my payment would be $5,000. And then after 3 years, maybe it's going to take 3 years for me to get to 5%, in which case the house price is now going to be $964,000. So now, but my house price, my monthly payment is now going to be less. Now, it doesn't mean, that I can't, if I'm over on this side, refinance to get down to this rate, but that's how long it might take. All right. Well, there's other factors that are happening right now. Not only am I paying $3,500, well, I may have locked in at that rate, and let's pretend that I never, I don't have any rental increases. But if you wanted to say, well, you've got a rental increase, in the past several years, they've been going up 10 and 15%, but let's just say they were going up 5%. This will equate for those increases in the rent. And so this will, account in that, all right, fine. So you wanted to save some money here on your monthly payment, which is totally understandable. But you also are paying about $132,000 in rent, which is, honestly, it's 100% interest. So while you're worried about saving that 8.25%, your rent's 100% interest, and you paid out $132,000 while you decided to wait. Well, if I wait, my rent payment versus my mortgage payment, my rent payment's way cheaper. So should if your monthly payments you're concerned, well, absolutely, you are going to save big time if you rent. But the difference in between my desired monthly payment and my current payment, okay, this is a little bit different. This has to do with, well, if I wait those years, what would my monthly payment be? Well, if I waited 3 years, I might be at $1,400, which means that I would say, I'd be saving on a monthly basis about $1,400, which means that I would save throughout the year $17,000 in difference from the guy who's over here paying $6,500 a month or 64 and change. But here's the big issue: my opportunity cost. Because my opportunity cost is the appreciation that I missed out on. And again, I'm being conservative over here. I missed out on this appreciation. Here's my total down here. And I also missed out on the amount of principal that I paid down. And I paid interest over here, which I calculated, and I took that out. But I also need to factor in the cost of the rent that I paid. And so if I want to, I can edit this to 3 years over here, and it will calculate it for you in the difference. And what's interesting is who made out better? Well, the guy who actually bought now, after you take into effect his appreciation, all of his principal pay downs, everything else that he did, he's ahead by $60,000, because the person who waited over here actually they missed out on $60,000 worth of net worth. And that's the real big concern, is just net worth. And so on a yearly basis, they lost 20 grand in opportunity costs. On monthly basis, they have about 1,600. weekly. By waiting each week, they were missing out on nearly $400. And every day that you didn't do this, I know this is kind of extremizing it a little bit, but it's over $50 a day. And so as people think to themselves, I really want to decide what's better, they're missing out on a couple of big factors. I decided to pay X amount more for a house in order to save a certain amount every single month. But if I totaled it annually, yeah, it's going to be $13,000, but I tried to save $13,000 in exchange for the $60,000 or way more in appreciation and everything else that I could have gotten. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. Feel free to download it and use it. And please leave some comments below as to if this has been helpful for you and anything that we should change to it. All right. Thanks again.